Hello.
All right.
Podcast.
Welcome.
It's too early.
It's way too early. It's too early for this bullshit.
There's light coming in. It's actually it's 9 p.m. What am I talking about? Hello everyone.
It's 9 p.m. Like it's too early, but at the time of doing this, it's like the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah.
I had coffee, and it just reminded me how tired I am. Did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, welcome to the Talking Sheds podcast.
The Shedheads.
I'm your boy, Skylar.
Yeah. You caught me off guard with that different intro.
What?
I'm James.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit of format, YouTube bullshit. We're not really about it, but this could be someone's. Every podcast could be their first thingy, you know.
The Dark Souls of
that.
podcast, the hardest one to listen to.
Yeah. Or a little fucking thingy. What's it called? Mantra, whatever. Slogan, subtitle,
Yes.
all that jazz.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've been drinking a lot of coffee lately, so maybe that's why it's not really doing much for me.
Yeah, I never do that.
I really want to get a cold brew machine. Do you hear that, Amazon? Give me that.
Yeah. Well, likely mine heard it, and I'm going to get ads.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I've also turned on my microphone for everything lately just because, I've been using it. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing, those type of ads popping up again.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
All over the place.
It is what it is, but, it's whatever.
Right.
I like the convenience of using my microphone on my phone now.
Yeah. We've got stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we do. We got an interesting matchup. It's not really a matchup. More like just
it's weird, yeah.
yeah.
The thing is, usually
Wait.
we've talked about what?
Oh no, keep going.
What it's kind of hard sometimes to pinpoint which discussion in any given podcast is the main event,
The meat,
so to speak.
Well, I like to think that it should be 50-50.
Yeah, but you're the one who brought this concept to my attention. Also, oddly enough.
Yeah. Well, because it kind of does happen, or at least it feels like it.
Yeah, sometimes you feel like more often than not it's mine, and today I think it'll be yours.
I thought you were gonna say that normally we like to find a through line, like a commonness between a common denominator between our two recommendations we give. But I found out
that's
what
kind
it
of
is.
impossible because we don't discuss anything.
Well, I know what it is today.
We can make it up on the spot like you're about to. Go for it.
Are we thinking of the same thing?
No. Go for it.
Cool.
No, I wasn't gonna say these are related. Maybe they're both
No, they're related.
for children.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
I was just gonna say we both grew up with it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the Chris Stuckman podcast.
Yeah, except for me, I was so much younger for my recommendation.
Yeah.
I was much younger and hardly even remembered it. No, you little asshole. No.
Yeah. Okay, that's my cat.
Yeah. Cool. He's on my lap, and out of nowhere, he just grabbed at the cable.
Yeah, the microphone.
Yeah, and it's already come unplugged once during this podcast, and this little asshole's gonna chew right through it. I know it. Anyways, what are we talking about first? You said
Talk about yours
we're talking
first.
about mine. So the Iron Giant.
Yes, timestamp. The Iron
That's
Giant.
not my name.
I also grew up with this.
Yeah, funnily enough, it's just you've been recommending me kind of monsters lately, really big names.
Yeah, which by the way, I'm gonna finish that off today.
Yeah. And I've been doing close to the same, more or less things I need to revisit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just occurred to me. Same thing with what you pointed out with your Letterboxd, how you're just with quarantine, no movie theaters out. You've kind of just been going through watching classics, so you look like a real big puss.
Yeah, like a movie pussy, like someone who just loves everything. Because everything that I've been watching is certified good. It's been out for a while. It's been tested and approved.
Yeah, who doesn't, and also that doesn't think critically of something.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you look like. That's what you think.
That if you look at my
letter.
Letterboxd scores, it's a lot of 7s and 8s, and then more 10s than 1s. Yeah. But I haven't.
I got more 10s than 1s. I think everybody does.
But there haven't been a lot of movies.
That's weird. I never even thought it's a 1 is so much more rare than a 10. I feel like.
I guess it depends on the
Really, but
movies
like,
that you watch.
I don't think I've like.
Most people just steer clear if they know it's going to be a 1.
I think I gave one thing ever a 1.
Right.
Like, not even just Letterboxd, like with everything. Games and music, too.
Right. This isn't about the Iron Giant right now.
No, I mean, we're still kind of preambling.
Yeah, I guess my second timestamp will be the Iron Giant then.
Okay, well, here we go. So, here's... I brought that up because, it's kind of an introduction because this is a giant movie.
Yeah.
Intended.
It is.
Same thing with later when we talk about the album you gave. Like, this is giant stuff.
Yeah, and if you get another giant from me after this, it's purely coincidental because I'm a normie.
I haven't seen this since I was maybe 4 or 5. So, like,
Really?
I hardly remember much of any of it other than, like, the basic story, pretty much, of what happens.
I don't think I was 5. I was probably older than that, but I haven't seen this in a long time either. And I kind of just remember going through a phase where I watched it 2 or 3 times. I was like, this is my favorite. And like,
that's funny.
And then I never saw it again. Yeah.
So it's already had a bigger...
I kind of did that with Holes too.
It's kind of a bigger impact on you than it was for me, even.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, just because, it's got like, it's, it's classic. It's classic animation.
Yeah.
Children's movies and just overall, like, concepts.
I didn't remember much about it all, but the first thing I want to say is -10. They didn't play Iron Man. Okay.
Oh man.
Okay. So soundtrack, no points for me. No, I'm just kidding.
Soundtrack, yeah, no points because you didn't play that. Yeah. So okay, I'm trying to just figure out where we like start and what angle we take this at.
Okay. Well, I've got notes. I don't know if you took notes.
No, I didn't. Well,
okay.
I mean, yeah. Also, like the whole thing with revisiting this. This is like the coldest revisited thing I did.
What do you mean?
Because, like I said, I've watched it like so long ago,
right?
And I never looked at it with a really like, I guess, analytical eye or just adult perspective and whatnot.
Yeah,
all that shit. I like fundamentally, I think it holds up. Like still
a lot.
I think it's going to hold up too for like the next 20, 30 years.
No, I agree. Yeah, I can get into some notes if you want.
Yeah. Also, I just got one last thing too because I also realized this. It's gonna sound really weird, but those YouTube videos that go around where people like explore their childhood traumas and like things that freaked them out when they were younger.
Yeah, YMS started that.
Yeah. He started that whole train, and I was wondering what that was for me. It's the Iron Giant. This movie.
Really?
This movie freaked me out when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, I remember. Well, as soon as it started,
the giant.
No, just like parts of it, not like all of it. Like the whole movie, I wasn't fucking petrified of it. But like, as soon as it started, I got like a Vietnam flashback because I remember that this. Like, oh yeah, this freaked me out. It was just that beeping. That was one of them. Just a beep, beep.
Right. Fuck.
I kept thinking like a bomb was gonna go off, like we were getting invaded or some shit. It just freaked me out.
Yeah, I don't know. I had the opposite when I was a kid. I thought the giant was really cool. And then, like, I wanted to love him. And then, like, it turned out that he was lovable. And it was perfect.
Yeah, well, same here. I wanted to love him. And then he turns into, like, fucking scary.
Oh, yeah.
And that scared the shit out of me. I remembered. Because, like, I saw him, like, at the end. And I was just like, oh, shit, that's what he looks like. And then, like, I got that, like, the part of me that's still a kid inside where I got, like, really fucking scared. I was just like, gee. Well, also because... This was like one of the first times they were using CGI as well in like animation, so it kind of like gave it a little bit of an uncanniness.
Well, it actually looks great in my opinion.
No, it looks great, yeah. But it's just the first time it was using CGI and the first time.
I don't always think CGI looks great, but I think here it looks really good.
Well, I think animated CGI looks like generally pretty good.
Yeah.
Generally it could be like really jank.
But generally like I don't know. I like stuff like Watership Down for animation where, like blood, sweat, and tears went into that. Like,
oh, yeah.
You don't see that shit anymore, but this movie looks great.
That I believe, like, lots of effort went to the art for this. Like,
yeah.
That's definitely a huge positive about this movie. Actually, I think last time I saw, like, CGI or, like, big budget animation was the Powerpuff Girls movie. And clearly that didn't freak me out, but, like... I don't know. It was different. Giant killer robot CGI equals like terrified like 5-year-old me.
Yeah.
So I just want to like share that.
Yeah.
I got like another childhood trauma thing, but it's not related to the Iron Giant, so
Okay.
we can save that for a game shit episode or something.
Sure. Okay.
So let's dive into it.
So I wanted to start off with that. I did not watch the signature edition because apparently there's 2 editions. And that version adds 2 scenes, including a dream. So is that the one you saw, or
No.
did you see the regular one?
I saw the regular one.
Okay. So yeah, we're on the same page
Neat,
then.
you did your homework.
Yeah. My first note is literally just V cute.
V cute.
Yeah.
What part? Are you referring
Just the
to?
whole thing.
Just everything.
Hogarth is he's a cutie, and his mom's a cutie, and
Oh, dude, his mom.
and just like the giant's a cutie. Everything's cute.
And yeah. It's got a really like charming art style with it, with how it's animated as well. It came out in '99.
Mm-hmm.
99. It looks like this.
Yeah.
This animation that's out now that looks like utter trash.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, this is just like could have been made like a few years ago.
I got a lot of notes on the look.
I wanted to I did want to comment on Hogarth's kind of look, design,
Sure.
art style. I think it's really good.
Yeah,
He
me
looks
too.
like a kid.
That's what
like,
I mean.
No, like genuinely, not like the stupid cartoon like kids. He's kind of ugly.
Yeah, but like adorable in that way.
Yeah, like that's what kids look like. They're ugly, but like
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I didn't take much note on like just how he looked. That's what my cute note was for. But on the look, I've got just that look great, especially the environment shots. In the beginning, for example, with the boat on the seas, and then
oh yeah, with
then
all
you
the
get
water.
the giant coming in.
Oh
in
yeah,
the sky.
that was another scene that freaked me the fuck out too. Seeing that giant like
Mhm.
when the sailor thing is at the lighthouse and you just see his eyes lit.
Oh,
up
I love that.
ominously. I love it, but that scared the shit out of me when I was younger.
But I mean, yeah, when you see him like shooting in from space, like it just looks so good. And also, just like generally, I love the look at like of nighttime, and when there's a light shown into the camera, which kind of describes exactly what you just said about the lighthouse. But also, it happened with there was a scene later in the movie with just Hogarth like walking out at night with a flashlight, and he shines in the camera. Like it's such a good aesthetic.
I never really paid much attention to that, but sure.
Yes. Okay. My cat's being loud. Sorry, everyone. But yeah, the art style is consistent and looks good no matter what's being shown. Like the forest during the fall day looks just as good as the ocean or space or the night with the flashlight. Like whatever it's going for, it really pulls it off.
I mean, there were a few frames where like the characters look really jank sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like especially with Hogarth, like sometimes he makes like the weirdest fucking faces.
But it's charming to me. I like that.
I mean, it's memeable too. Like a
Yep.
lot of the clips I recognize, like people like putting them in like where he smiles like really wide or something.
Yep. No, I love that's all positives for me.
Yeah, it's just really dopey looking.
Yeah, I think that adds to it. You get like a charm to it. It's not like everything's perfectly robotic like more modern stuff tends to be.
Right.
So I appreciate that there's some weird jankiness. Some great shots just as well. You get like the giant looking over the bay. That was pretty quick, but I had to take note of that because I really love the look of that. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And the wide shot of him walking through the field with Hogarth. That was when they were heading out to the bay, actually. So same scene. Just very visually pleasing movie. So I took note of some of that stuff.
Absolutely.
And I love the way like the camera moves in the scenes. Like it adds like that extra layer and personality, makes the world feel more alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just as far as visuals go, pretty outstanding.
I agree completely. For me, I really enjoyed the giant's design.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of looks like Bender.
Yeah.
I mean, not gonna lie.
He looks like a robot for sure. Like he looks he looks pretty standard, but well done.
Yeah, like I mean, there's nothing wrong with it either.
Looks like an Iron Giant. It's all you can ask for.
I mean, he's intimidating, but his face is so soft, so like it's got that kind of contrast,
Right.
and
He's got the bump on his head.
yeah, that too.
In his head. That's funny because every time I remembered that, even when I was a child, like I made the same mistake. My eyes miscalculated the same way they did when I was a child. Watching this, when they're like, "Oh, you got that bump on your head," and I thought they were talking about like his little mohawk thing, and then I saw he points at it and there's a little spot.
I never had that problem.
Yeah, every time I miss that, there's that little dent, and I'm like, "Well, it's just his hair, man." Like,
It's just his hair. Hair.
Don't go to be mean. I mean, it's not hair, but like
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of funny when the robot gets a bump on his head. It's like it's an indent, like it's what is it, concave? Like it goes in.
Right.
When people get bumps on their head, it's convex, like it bumps out.
Yeah.
Just thought that was funny.
What else did I have, or did you want to say something?
Oh no, keep going.
Okay, well, we've got Jennifer Aniston in this movie, so that's pretty cool.
Is that the mom?
Yeah.
Mom's so hot. I'm just gonna say that.
She's
I'm just gonna get that out there. She does though look pretty jank.
Yeah.
I mean, in the way that was like human,
Yeah.
Like everyone's got like an unflattering angle, and a couple times, like she turns, I'm just like, huh. I mean, it's just what it is a few times, like especially with Hogarth, like I said.
Yeah.
And you know what? More so with the FBI dude, Anti-Coop.
Okay, we'll get to him.
We'll get to him, but he's like the most jank looking.
No, yeah, I want to talk about some of the characters, but I was talking about like kind of the outside factors, I guess, with the voice acting, because I didn't recognize all the names, but I thought it was funny that Jennifer Aniston, and particularly that Vin Diesel, was in this movie.
Is he the dude?
He's a giant.
Oh, he's a giant.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He's Groot too. Like, I swear, the only times he does something that's like half decent is when he's a voice role that's just.
Yeah, just big dumb. Yeah, big dumb.
Just so
like a deep Dougie Jones.
Yeah.
Rock.
And Jennifer Aniston, I don't know. Like, it's kind of just a cool fact because she was pretty famous around the time.
Oh yeah,
from Friends and everything.
Most definitely.
Yeah. An issue I had was with the audio. If we want to get into that, I don't know if you felt the same at all.
What do you mean? Well, like what was the issue for you?
What I noted is I felt like it was weirdly like canned and inconsistent, especially for the time it was made. Because at first I was like, 1999, and I was like, wait. There were like a lot of movies that sounded fine. Like Beavis and Butthead, the movie came out a few years before this, in 96. And South Park, the movie, came out the same year. I don't know if you had that same experience. I just felt like the audio sounded a little canned.
I didn't notice if it was or not, so I can't really comment.
Or sometimes characters who are closer to the screen are like quieter than characters who are further from the screen, and it was just like, I guess it's pretty nitpicky, but it's just some minor thing that I took note of, and I was wondering, like, is there a low budget for this? I wouldn't think so. I didn't check the budget, but yeah, I just thought, a little strange.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with audio or like anything that stood out.
Sure.
I think honestly, it might, if there was anything, it was more like volume and just kind of mixing, where sometimes
mixing,
or like it would be like a really
I was gonna say that
like
too,
a YouTube video where it's like really quiet in areas and loud some parts, but like nothing that's like too like bad, I guess.
And I'd be willing to say it's my TV, but also sometimes the music and voices were competing. So like, they never really mix stuff for home viewing. So that could have to do with that. Like, they kind of just usually send stuff straight from like how they were in the theaters.
Well, I guess
which are mixed totally different, and they work in headphones generally.
I guess it does depend. I did listen to this with my speakers, which are pretty well rounded.
Yeah, I've just got the sound bar.
Yeah, you got a sound bar, which I'm not really sure. I haven't really paid too much attention to it.
I don't think they're that great,
but my speakers are, they got a good amount of sub bass in them, but like they're really going to emphasize like treble and everything, which is what voices are.
Yeah.
So like in terms of, which is why I guess it wasn't really an issue for my like voices, because like it was pretty like level most of the time. But then whenever like there was like bass where like the giant was talking, moving, or like splashing like in the water,
Yeah.
or like thuds or shit, it would be like really loud because my speakers can kind of handle that. And
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of that happening in the movie.
Well, I noticed that like a lot of modern TVs and sound bars will really prioritize music, and then like it always fucks up the mix because there's talking over a song, and then it's like I can pay attention to one or the other.
Well, to me, like I always think that sound bars like really emphasize bass and sub bass.
Yeah,
get, like,
I've got the subwoofer there
to get like a more like movie theater experience. No, I mean even just the bar, like as opposed to the subwoofer, like the bar will still like try to compensate for it.
Yeah,
to give you like boomy home theater experience, because that's what speakers are. But usually, just sound stuff. Quit with like all the bass stuff.
Yeah,
it's not enjoyable in movies, I'm gonna say.
Right. Well, that's kind of the nitpick that I had.
Yeah, and like a side discussion on like sound and all that.
Before I went on to anything else, I did have one other issue with the movie that we can get into later. But did you wanna intervene with anything, or you just want me to keep going?
Yeah, I have a huge problem.
Go for it.
What kind of a name is Hogarth?
Okay.
Oh, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's what the detective thought too.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. Like in terms of like smaller things like that, there's not really a whole lot for me to talk about.
Right.
I mean,
so you wanted to talk about like the story and stuff.
Now, well, I mean, yeah, for like some smaller stuff, I guess I do. Now that I'm not like petrified of the giant, I really love like how fucking scary he gets.
Yeah.
Even just when his eyes turn red and go small.
Yeah.
That is like fucking hell. Genuinely like tense and creepy.
Yeah. I love that as a kid too, though. Like I was kind of waiting for him to. I want him to be badass as well as being like this good dude. I guess.
Yeah.
So I always loved that. I mean, well, I guess that's kind of jumping ahead, but I love just like when he stays at Dean's junkyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of humor in this movie too. Like,
yeah.
It's really like childlike, but not like immature.
Right. Yeah.
It has fun with like a lot of the ideas. And there's a lot of stuff there for adults too. Like it's obviously written like really, really generally, so it can so it can impact kids. But there is some stuff that adults pick up on that is different than what kids would, like what it is like to be a kid, and that's like all you really care about is doing the shit that Hogarth wants to do.
Yeah, and I actually noted that too. That I felt that the comedy suits both children and adults, because like they didn't do the common thing now, like that every fucking Disney and Pixar movie has. They didn't. There's not just some like cheap idiot character for comic relief like Olaf or Spider Pig or whatever his name is. Whatever,
Spider Pig?
From the Spider-Verse. I don't know what his name is.
Oh, don't you do not want to start this. So you mean Spider Ham?
No, because I haven't seen the movie. But
He's a canonical character.
But I'm talking about that character, that character that's just there to be dumb and like make you laugh. Like that never works, and like
Olaf.
that's a totally different discussion. But they didn't have a character like that in this movie, and I really like appreciate that they didn't do that.
That is a whole other topic. Spider Ham, I'm gonna immediately dunk that because he's a canonical character. Not just written for that bullshit. Olaf in the first Frozen, yes. Second one, he was actually really funny.
I haven't seen any of the movies I named.
Let's see. What is okay? Inside Out with I don't even remember the fucking character's name. Bing Bong or some shit. Where they literally create him just to kill him off, and whatever. Yeah, but yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I just couldn't think of examples, which is why I listed examples of movies I haven't even seen. But
I did, which Bing Bong, but that's also kind of bleeding into the creating a character just to kill them off for sympathy points for artificial
Yeah,
which this
but
movie
at
doesn't
least
do
when,
either.
yeah,
Like it actually has this. It's a kids movie with balls. It's like
yeah.
it's like Watership Down.
You know, I'd say at least when you create a character to kill off, it can affect a different one. But like, I just don't think. Yeah, different topic. When there's this stupid character that's supposed to make you laugh, that always like turns me off of that character.
I mean, yes, both of those. I mean, there are comic relief characters that are done like actually pretty well, but it really does depend.
It's pretty rare, yeah. But yeah, we're just talking about something that's not here.
Like I said, I do think they did Olaf really well in Frozen 2. It was genuinely funny.
Okay.
But yeah, they didn't do that here at all. I thought you were going to bring up that they didn't do the stupid thing that also Disney movies do, or movies in general now, to get the PG rating, which is just have one character make a crass joke or say it's like some word or some profanity that's not like outright PG-13, but like enough to make like saying hell or something.
Yeah.
Or damn, like just once, completely out of character, out of tone, just to get it to the PG rating. And if you keep that in mind, you're gonna see so many movies that do that.
Yeah, I thought
So
they did
many.
in this. I thought someone said hell or damn. I don't know.
I don't think so. At least not one that like was outside of the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
Because honestly, even if they did, it
I
would
was,
fit the tone.
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean,
I don't think that's a problem if it fits with it.
I mean, the closest thing that they did was was when we get introduced to the FBI agent.
Yeah, that's like obviously an innuendo for the adults.
Yeah, the joke that he made. Holy shit! You remember it, right? When he got into his car and he was like, "The biggest thing in this town is the homecoming queen."
Yeah.
I was like, "Fucking Christ!"
Okay, so there's more than one then.
I was like, "God damn!"
I was talking about the when he meets Hogarth's mom. He's like, ooh, like that.
Oh yeah. Also,
Yeah.
I mean, that's another.
That's just something they used to do that they don't
That's
really.
a typical Disney thing. No,
Yeah.
like when he opened the door and like he's looking down at Hogarth and then she walks in.
Yeah.
And there's like a few frames of him like just kind of gawking at her.
Yeah.
I mean, I noticed that and I was just like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Enough of that. But like, different time, 90s, but like
Yeah.
Disney still does that now, sadly.
Yeah, I can't say I've kept up with Disney. I haven't seen most of their shit.
Well, actually, I mean, okay, Disney's a little easy target. Actually, they haven't really done that. In the animated movies they did with a whole bunch of like innuendos and all that.
Did anyone like that
is just
distribute this? I don't even know.
Why?
This wasn't like Disney or Pixar or
No, this is
DreamWorks or
Universal
anything.
Studios.
Okay, yeah. I didn't pay attention.
Or is it Warner Brothers? I think it's Warner Brothers actually.
But yeah, on the way that this movie separates itself from others, there are real consequences. Yeah.
Yes. At the same time, they're not.
Literally, the giant will have a whole militia after him if he's found. That
Well, yeah.
doesn't-
Well, the events make sense, like
Yeah.
why things turn out the way they do, and it's consistent.
that doesn't happen anymore. What else? The themes we get: death, guns, loss are all addressed. Guns kill is said multiple times, which is bound to piss off some red-blooded all-American Trumpy boys. That's what I wrote.
I'll say rednecked as well.
Yeah.
I'll double down on that.
Literal threat of a missile wiping the whole town out. Like, you just don't see Disney doing this. Like, you don't see
Yeah,
anything
like-
modern for kids. Like, oh
and-
no, kids can't be aware of death.
Yeah, and they were genuinely like, "We're all gonna die." Like Hogarth says that.
Yep.
And it's obviously like setting it up for the giant to make a sacrifice, but like it's that moment is earned as well. Like
Yep.
it's more than just like that as a concept to like get shock value or whatever. Like it's earned. There's a build up towards that.
Yep.
And also that's why I love like everything about the giant as well, because like he starts off, he's a Dougie,
Yeah.
because of the bump on his head. And he learns and blah, 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 likes humans and all that shit. And like learns to talk a little bit more. And then by the end of the movie, like we were getting like kind of progression all along where like he's being more playful. And then by the movie, he's fully emotive.
Yep.
And then it makes it so goddamn powerful.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Something about robots being emotive. It hits me different because Wally.
Right, I can't say the same, but
I know that's a disconnect. Maybe that's another debate for a future podcast.
him getting sad was quite effective, I thought.
Oh no, I almost cried when he was sad over Hogarth. I knew Hogarth wasn't dead, but like it was just him like actually emoting and sobbing. I was just like, holy shit.
For me, when he was sad, and then when the giant was like using his eye lasers, and then he ran away. That worked for me.
Oh yeah, I think it's very effective because like it's the payoff towards what the whole movie was building towards.
Yeah.
That said, it's still like it still does the fake out thing where twice where it's like, oh, this character's dead. No, they're not. Kind of just to get characters reacting that way. I don't think it is. I don't think it's strictly a cliche in the bad way.
Yeah.
Again, Disney doing the same thing. It makes sense of why that would happen. Like people are shooting at the giant with the kid is in his hand. He's bound to drop him or some shit, or be injured in one way.
Yeah.
Or another. It happens earlier in the movie to show that the giant, can repair himself.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like it establishes the rules of the giant like really quickly.
Yeah.
And I guess like early on too, I was like, why the fuck does he eat steel?
Yeah.
But like ultimately, it's just like it doesn't matter. It's just how this world is. It's just the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we eat meat. We're made of meat. So like, I guess yeah, he's made of steel. He eats steel.
Maybe that's the thought process that they had.
Yeah, probably. It's just so strange to see a robot needing to eat.
Yeah.
But that's because of like the common rule set that's been like with folklore and all that.
It helps to humanize them in the way that it's like literally something that humans do.
Yeah, and it's ultimately like a fine rule set to have, and it's honestly like it's nice to see them not fit squarely into that. Like with example, like how there's like seemingly a common rule, or like folklore with zombies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a clear-cut definition. If you do anything wrong with them, you're going to get hated for it or something.
Yeah.
Or there's only like a few different choices you can make or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
and yeah, obviously that he can repair himself like down to pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, and I wouldn't say that's outlandish either.
Yeah. Well, I was going to bring up some of the other characters.
Right.
We've got Dean, who I like a lot. Really like.
Oh, his name's Dean.
Yeah.
I call him the dude.
I call him Adam Kesher. He reminded me a lot of him, who, if you don't remember, from Mulholland Drive. He looked a lot like him to me. But I love just the choice to have him be this art dude. And
like
make stuff out of junk.
Super artsy fartsy. And I love like the line in the movie where he's like, I'm either a junker that sells art or I'm an artist that sells junk.
Yep.
I'm just like, ha.
And
I
just
appreciate that.
It gives the giant it gives story reason for the giant to hang out at the junkyard, and I like that.
And why he also like opens up to him because he helps him out with,
I like that he accepts the giant and like kind of becomes Hogarth's bro.
Yeah, and they actually like try like making shit, and that's more like what an adult would do as well. And of course, it's funny that the kid is just like, "The fuck you doing?"
Yeah, I just like that they gave him more to do than just kind of be there and be the plot device.
Yeah, like Dean fits like so perfectly into that plot for those reasons.
Yep. Like he serves his purpose, but he's also like feels like a character who's living in this world that they've presented us with. What else we got? He looks like Charlie Sheen when he puts on the bowling shirt, though.
He's wearing a bowling shirt?
Yeah, when he was sitting beside the pool, and he has that blue bowling shirt.
Oh yeah,
he looked just like Charlie Sheen. It was so funny.
Yeah. Oh man, Dean.
Diener, he's great.
Diener's really great. I do love
stupid ass detective boy.
no. Let's keep talking about Dean. There's more to talk about with this character.
Yeah.
Before we move on.
Okay.
Let's see. I love how they made him like kind of a hippie dude. It more or less honestly, like for being out in 99, with like what he is saying, like it's a powerful message that people like still can take value out of.
Yeah,
Like it's one of those things. Like even though like I love to shit on Disney, like in terms of story writing, there's lots of messages where people like need to take and remember, in their life.
right.
And that being you are whoever you want to be, whatever you make of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like such an important lesson for kids.
Right.
I'd argue like the most, or at least one of,
Yeah, and a lot of movies try and say it. I don't know how much they all get across, because
Well, they all
like
whenever it's like, oh, you can do whatever you want, it's always just like an archetype, and like kids are always like, at least growing up, for me, I'm just like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, okay. I was just gonna get into that. Because every like kids movie's got this central message and blah blah blah. When I was a kid, I was fucking stupid. Like none of that shit ever resonated until I got older. So
Well, yeah, because as a kid, you just think like you don't even think about story. You're just
it's like I
cool,
learned something, and
cool
they're like,
robot.
"Oh, cool, they learned something." Like it doesn't apply to me. That's kind of like when I was a kid. I was stupid and didn't like analyze and didn't take from it. Like,
Well, I don't think kids do.
yeah, so
I think it's rare to find one that would.
So it's kind of funny that everything made for kids really tries to drive that home. And I wonder what percentage of kids it actually resonates as it's supposed to.
Well, like I think
In this though, like it does inspire a kid when you see the Iron Giant sacrifice himself eventually. We'll get to that.
well, like there's some
It inspired me when I was younger. And it made me sad. And like it you feel loss in that. And that's a cool thing that isn't addressed nowadays. It did sort of fall flat for me, and I'll get to that. I'll get to that later.
Okay, we're going a little too fast here. So
We are, but
I'm gonna pull you back a little bit.
Yeah.
And share my experience, I guess. Like I knew like what messages were in movies, but
Yeah.
like most of the time they are so just like, half-assed. And it's
Mhm.
always just, shit like, just you can be yourself. I'm taking this cat away from you. Quit it. All right, he's not going to talk.
No, you were talking.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
listening.
it's just distracting. Fuck. I forgot what I was saying. It's always half-assed, and it's always just this bullshit of like treat others well, and like it's just the same regurgitated shit that is like told to you when you're in elementary, which is like you can be whatever you want to be, you can do anything you set your mind to, and it's like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, you
Like,
don't know till you're older.
Yeah, when you're growing up, you're like, what is that? Even still, when you're older, like people still don't know what the fuck that means, or like they don't think they can be anything.
I think a lot of
And-
people find out what it means to them, but
in the movie, what I'm getting at is like the Iron Giant. It puts it succinctly in just that one, in that one part with Dean. Where he's like, you are whatever you define yourself to be,
right.
and all of that. It's like looking inward, and then it's like exemplified with the giant that you don't need to be a gun.
Yep. Even though he's,
Hardwired,
he was
programmed.
built. Yeah, he was built to be a weapon, or is it just said that he was?
It's implied that he is.
Yeah,
but
right.
Like I don't think strictly
It's
a
much more
weapon.
thematically powerful if he is built to be a weapon,
I guess, but then
in my opinion.
But then it would kind of like diminish like the other part of just him kind of just existing.
What's that?
I don't know. Like
I think for me it makes everything thematically more powerful that he has this choice to not be what is expected of him.
yes, and I think that's already what's implied. But
Yeah.
like I like how that it is unclear if like what exactly he is meant to do.
Yeah.
It's implied that he is, but if it outright told you he's meant to be a weapon, then it's like.
Well, they did have the character set up, but it was the nutty guy, so you don't know.
It's more human that it's not outright said like that, because this whole time you're wondering what this giant is, and then it hits you with the, you are whatever you choose to be, so then the giant is whatever he chooses to be.
Well, yeah, but someone in the movie did say he was a weapon. It was just the nutcase.
Yeah. I mean that's what they'll say, especially like when with his defense capabilities and
Yeah.
such.
Right. and obviously he's built to do that. But like, and he's clearly built to target guns. So like he's kind of, you would think maybe some kind of
Well,
intended military weapon or something.
Well, it is out of defense. So, if it was outright a weapon, then he might have just been able to target humans specifically.
Yeah.
Which wasn't shown. So I like how it's more ambiguous and it gets you wondering what is he meant to be, and makes him more human in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because lots of people, don't know who they are, what they're going to be, or all that, or what
Yeah, it's just what he is what he does. So.
Versus what is expected and all that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like that. Do you want to talk about the nut? I mean, I don't have a lot to say about him. It's just like, as soon as I completely forgot he existed. Well, and as soon as I saw his face, I was like, oh, fuck. I hate that guy.
No, I just did want to talk about Dean and say I think he's the most important character for the story.
I think he's very important. I don't know if I'd say he's the most important, but
one of.
He's very much a foil, for pretty much the story. So, yeah.
Well, also with the message and themes and all that, and I think it's important for it to show this kind of side to life for kids, and in this kind of media, in this kind of light, where you stay true to what it is you want to do and yourself and all that, and not have to worry about being successful.
Yeah,
because some people can build their whole lives thinking that that's what they need to do. Kind of talking, a little on the nose here. Someone on this couch has had problems with that, so that's why I think this is so important.
Has had problems with what?
With what I just said.
Feeling like you need to do something.
Yeah, and be productive, be successful, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
People can spend their whole lives trying to figure out what that means because of this whole kind of wall and what is being shown by the status quo and all that. Mm-hmm. It opens things for a lot, higher discussion about that.
I think that Dean is I like that he looks like an asshole when you first see him.
Yeah.
And then he's just
he's just like a kid.
Yeah. I mean, there's something to be said about that too, because you totally expect him to be some douche. At least, when you make a character who's kind of got his mannerisms, that's usually what it's played for. So I like that he's just kind of this struggling artist, he's a really nice dude.
Yeah, it's a subversion of expectations because you see him, you see oh, he looks like an asshole, and then you see the FBI dude, and it's just oh yeah, he's gonna help,
Which in a way, this movie's all about subversion of expectations.
And in life, that is it displays that. It's the same thing. It's it's the reverse,
It's he looks like an asshole, but he's this really cool dude. And then
down to earth.
The giant, your initial reaction is to be scared of him, but he's this fucking soft boy too. And then the dude who's this government agent who's supposed to be protecting you and shit, he's a fucking lunatic. It's just all about
and corrupt with power and the want to be important. So I guess that is a segue to talk about this dude, which is the antithesis of Dean.
And I wrote nothing about him. I completely forgot about him, and when I saw him, I remembered.
I think he's the personification of what could go wrong if we keep this train of societal expectations of people.
Yeah,
turn them corrupt, turn them mad. That's how we make all these that's how we make criminals, murderers, lunatics, things like that. Mm-hmm. It is literally this, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and based off of knowledge and not knowledge. What is it? Observation of patterns.
Yeah,
amongst people.
Right. Yeah. There's not really much to him aside from that he's just this asshole, but at least his motivations are.
Can we talk about his fucking design for a minute? He's got such a long face.
Yeah, he looks evil.
It's half the size of Hogarth. He can open his mouth wide enough and eat him.
Yeah,
it's terrifying.
I mean, yeah, and again, back to what he what he does as a villain. He's like killing people. You're like, he's potentially gonna kill people, which again,
He nearly wiped out
Yeah.
the whole town just because.
yeah, you don't
like,
see that now.
just because he of his ego that he wanted to be important and like wanted to be
Yeah.
right about it, and it just got out of control when he was yelling at the general like after he was
Yeah.
caught in like multiple lies and such.
And I love that he's just like fuck the country, I'm leaving or something. Like after all said and done,
Oh yeah,
like it's just like, look, he didn't give a shit.
reminds you of another
Yeah.
like not red-headed but red cheese. No, okay, wait.
Red-
cheese. Bleep that. I meant the Oompa Loompa that was in office, not that
Oh.
derogatory term. Please bleep that.
Oh boy.
I wasn't thinking properly.
Okay.
I meant the Oompa Loompa Trump,
Yeah.
not the fucking. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I think people get it.
Gotcha.
Yes, like that. Like people are just gonna get out of Dodge when they don't get their way.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus fucking Christ! I'm actually an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh God.
No, I totally get what you mean. I think he's a great idiot, annoying, perfectly hateable, punchable villain.
That said, I think my big problem, and not big problem, the problem I have with this movie, if there is any like criticism to be made, is the writing.
Huh,
Like
okay.
really, like for me, I think that dude is too much of a big comic booky type villain. And
He is.
I know he's written that way, and like for kids to understand it, but like it kind of just makes holes, where like when he takes the phone out of the general's hand and screaming to launch the missile.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. You would think like at some point any like a reasonable person would like have doubts about just doing that.
Right.
I mean, it serves the story. Like it's ultimately fine. It's just it's just noticeable. It kind of took me out of that when you get some things that are like so definitely on the nose like that. And it all stems from him, really.
Yeah, my issues, my issue is really just like the end. So I don't know if I want to touch on that just yet. But like I do, I wrote a handful of things that I did want to mention.
Sure, go for it.
Just some things I thought were done well. So we can go over that before I get to my thoughts on the ending, because it's technically a complaint with the writing as well, or just why it personally didn't resonate with me as much. So,
Sure.
Okay, but some cool things. What did I write? Oh, this is kind of not important. the giant eating the train tracks.
Yeah.
It's just like a cat doing some bullshit, like chewing through your phone charger.
Yep.
He just turns around and says, oh, God damn it. Like,
Yeah, but at least you know what he can yell at them and then they fix it.
Yeah.
Cats just kind of look at you like like little
and then
idiots.
if you step towards them, they run.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did really like the scene where he just was like really like trying to fix it, like line it up. It's just I don't know, just him like focusing. It's just like how a normal person like thread a needle or like paint like a really small figurine or some shit. It was just cute. And I like how he doesn't get hit by the train. Like he doesn't narrowly escape it out of just bullshit.
Yep, I didn't expect that. That was cool.
Or that they don't see that huge mass and they hit him.
Again, consequences. That train got fucked up. Somehow the driver lived, but
yeah.
The Grace scene, very good. Really glad that's in here.
What scene?
The dinner table.
Oh yeah.
When he's saying Grace, I love that.
Yeah.
It's totally like it's like such a kid movie thing to do, but it's so like adult in the same way. Like that's a perfect example of something that's in there for children and adults.
What do you mean by it's adult?
It's also like this is something that like a Christian mom would get upset about, like seeing like they're not taking it seriously or something.
Right.
And
Sure.
I just think that it was pretty funny, so I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I can see how that could be. That scene could work out. It didn't work for me personally, just because I am not really big on like cringe type of humor. Not cringe in that like purposely like it's just like ew, more like uncomfortable like scene between characters that's like kind of playing up for laughs to like diffuse it. I'm just not personally big on it. It makes me more uncomfortable than it does like, oh, that was funny.
Yeah, no, I didn't get that from it. It seemed more like some kind of improv bit to me.
No, for me, generally, that's like how I feel about those type of scenes. Whenever like there's an uncomfortable situation like that,
sure.
but it works fine. You know, I'm not like knocking it down or anything.
There's a tasteful poop joke.
Oh yeah, of him pushing the hand out the window.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, "Oh man,
Yeah,
the fucking detective," whatever he said. I didn't note that. I just
it's
remembered
like I
it.
think he needs to lay off something. I don't know.
Yeah. I said, "Holy shit, the oof!" It's in this movie.
Oh, oof.
Yeah, I never knew that.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
The oof like soundbite is from Roblox.
But it was in here.
I don't remember like specifically.
Oh, Hogarth made that sound twice. It's like almost perfect if you're sure it's not it, because I would even fucking believe that Roblox just took it from this, honestly.
They could, but
Yeah.
like that's where like to my knowledge where that soundbite is from.
Yeah. I don't know. I might still have it rented, so I might just have to show you.
Didn't really notice.
I heard
you
just like,
rented it.
ooh, and it was so fucking great.
I like how you rented it when I got it for free on Vimeo.
Yeah. The car alarm. Oh yeah, that was like a nitpick.
Oh, that
when
was
the car alarm was going off. I was like, just eat it, man.
I mean,
Like,
same, but like,
but he
I found
throws-
it funny.
I love that he throws it.
it was that I remember when I was younger, and I found that hilarious that he just fucking yeeted the car away. When
Yeah.
it's like going off. Well, I mean, he was like punching it too, so it was like gonna be the same as like eating it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, so I noted that down because I did think that was funny, but also like that was just making me like, dude, just eat the fucking. You're eating everything else. Like, okay, what else did I have? Diener. Well, okay, so I think I might have been wrong about this, but maybe my eyes just thought I saw it. At first it looked like Dean's coffee cup was like the size of a creamer, and I thought that was hilarious.
Oh yeah, it was tiny.
Yeah, and then like when he was drinking from it later, it looked like more in proportion with his hand. But
yeah, I did like the scene where Hogarth is on espresso and how fucking hyper he is.
Mhm.
You know, as a kid, I never really see the chaos of like a hyperactive kid.
Mhm.
I mean, kids get sugar rushes and shit, but caffeine, like espresso, gets me wired. Like a kid, could you imagine?
Mhm.
Like a little Tasmanian devil. So I enjoyed that scene.
And on something similar to that, he gives the government dude laxatives, and I was surprised at that too.
Oh, that was really cartoony because I was like, where did he get the laxatives?
Yeah, who knows?
That's a nitpick.
Well,
I was
maybe.
just like, where did he get it, and how did he know to plan that?
It's
Because
not.
he was going to go
Yeah.
by himself, and then the government dude tagged along last minute. So like,
Yeah.
how did he plan that? Does he just carry laxatives on him for some
No,
reason?
yeah, it's not as hard as you would think, I guess. But it's yeah, obviously logistically wouldn't have had it. But it's I say that cuz like just growing up in Lake Placid being bored and fucking sometimes you give your friends laxatives.
But this isn't. I guess.
and the way you do it, actually we did do it with chocolate once, but like shitty thing to do, never do that to someone, but you do it when you're like 12. No, but it was just as easy as like my friend's parents had laxatives and they were just sitting out.
I see.
Yeah.
But would that even work with like the amount that he sprinkled on top of his ice cream?
Oh, who knows? Because
That was like a
We never-
stupidly small amount.
we never like dosed each other, but we did get chocolate ones once, so that was pretty funny.
And also it takes into effect like really like stupidly quickly.
Yeah.
So I guess like that scene as a whole in the ice cream shop is like the biggest I have in terms of plot hole or like
Right.
consistency or whatever. But it's fine. It's just it gets him out of there, and it's like it really
Yeah.
just could have done the same thing just a little differently, and it would be better.
I'm extremely lenient on logistics of animated stuff because they could draw whatever the fuck they want. Like, it usually doesn't even need to make sense for me. So
That's strange. I would ask you what you meant more specifically, but that's not really in topic of this movie, I think.
no, the last thing I had was I like that when Dean dressed up the giant as an art project.
Oh yeah, creative.
Yeah, love that.
I was gonna say for also humor, an underrated moment for me was when Hogarth asks like if the giant could like stay in the scrapyard. He just gets up and like pours the coffee on the ground.
Yeah,
and leaves.
I love that. That's it for me. I'm ready to talk about the end. This is gonna be like controversial, I guess, because the end didn't land for me.
Let's see. Is there? No, not for me neither.
Wait, it didn't land for you?
No. Well, I'm not sure if we're thinking about the same thing, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
A couple of things, I guess. I guess we're done with talking about the government dude.
Yeah, if you had anything else, go for it.
I mean, I think his arc was like, as it was progressing, it was like, making sense up until the end where he kind of takes like a sharp turn into insanity. I feel like that could have been done a little more tactfully. Of course, Dean drives a motorcycle.
Yeah,
because of course he does.
And I love when he like starts it up, like he does.
Yeah.
He does the little show off.
He does the thing.
Like totally serious times, like the world might just blow up, and he's just revving his motorcycle.
I do love the scene where they go swimming and the giant like completely like, takes out the whole lake.
There's a lot of stuff in here that's just charming.
That is super cartoony, but like it works. Like I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I say if you're making a cartoon, just be cartoony. Go for it. I thought it was
depends
fun.
on how like cemented in reality they want to be.
Yeah,
I don't think if all of a sudden like the Iron Giant got all Ed and Eddie up on me, I would have a problem with it.
Yeah, I think that it's pretty good scene. Like that's charming, and then the fucking Dean ends up out on the street, and it's great. The guy's like, "You're in the road." Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I love that. Yeah, great character.
Let's see. Okay, I'll open with something that I honestly despise about the movie.
Go for it.
That Dean gets with Hogarth's mom.
I didn't even notice, so that's hilarious.
Well, it's implied that that's what it is, but like I genuinely like if this were done now, there's no way that would happen. And like ultimately, it's inconsequential, but like the fact that they felt they needed to include it back then, I just have such a huge problem with. I think it's just straight up forced. And it's like, hey, look, these characters they fell in love or whatever.
They're adults and they're male and female.
Yeah, exactly. It's like people can't be independent of each other. They need to like,
I can't say I care too much, but like, it's like whatever, dumb choice, whatever.
It really does not need to be there.
There was no foundation for that.
Yeah, it adds nothing to the story. It adds nothing, and it kind of just makes the characters like, way more shallow to me.
Sure.
Just by like, oh, they're male and female. You know what that means? Love interest. And
yeah,
I'm sick of seeing that everywhere.
He hangs out with her son, so yeah.
And that's a very Disney thing to do.
Yeah, she also doesn't think that's really weird and creepy. But whatever.
Yeah, like
that's obviously
he puts her hand on her shoulder like quite a few times, and it's like out of comfort, sure, but it's just like, she doesn't find it creepy at all. Let's see. Yeah, this was like taking place in the 50s and such.
60s.
60s.
Yeah.
Really weird because honestly you wouldn't really see the Dean archetype unless he's like, a hippie boy.
Yeah.
Like by all accounts, he would be kind of shunned or looked down upon.
Yeah, I thought his voice really
which
fit
is why
him.
I also think it's important that of his inclusion in this,
Yeah.
Let's see.
But yeah, his voice I thought really fit him. I like that.
Yeah, I was just saying that like Disney is like really, known for doing that stuff with the whole like male female time for love interest. They
movies in general, honestly.
Movies in general. But I was just gonna say Disney did that with Frozen 1, but they fixed it in Frozen 2.
Okay.
And that they actually gave them problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like relationship issues that is done in a fucking Disney movie. Like, what? So, again, I think just Frozen 2 just fixes everything they did wrong in 1.
Yeah, I think
Overall.
I feel like that's a hot take, but I haven't seen either of them. I just know people who are, love the first one.
I'd be more than willing to discuss that if that's what it came down to. But that's not this podcast.
No, so why don't we get into the end then?
Let's get to that was kind of like a segue to the end because that's what happens, at the end.
The end is kind of what you everyone remembers about this movie. It's what I remembered for sure, but I remembered it wrong. My headcanon was better. Which is kind of funny. So here's the thing. I didn't remember the reveal that the giant was like gonna live.
Yeah.
And I liked my headcanon better.
So it seems like we're on the same page here.
I didn't like that. It didn't feel like Lost anymore.
No, it did. Yeah, I did not like that. They were just like, oh, he's alive, and it has to end with a good ending,
Yeah, it reminds me it's for children.
Yeah,
honestly,
because it needs to like cop. It's such a cop out.
I didn't remember that. I remembered the loss, which proves to me that since I watched it as a child and that really resonated with me, that proves to me that they didn't need to be like, look, he's okay, because as a child, I liked it better that there was real loss.
Yeah, so like it had balls up until the end, and I remember like when I was watching it, when I saw that last scene, I basically like when it was done, I was like, yep, I'm just gonna pretend like that didn't happen.
Same.
I was like, yep, that's not the ending. I'm like, nope, that's a deleted scene that got added in at the last second because the studio was just like, you have to have a good ending for kids. We don't want to make the audience sad. We don't want to make them feel emotions. And it's
what?
Like, also, literally a lot like a huge problem I have with the entertainment industry and art in general.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So I'm glad we agree on the same thing.
And honestly, it's not even like that big of like it completely. It doesn't retcon like the sacrifice, but it makes it much more meaningless.
Like what? Yeah,
it's just like at that point, it's just an inconvenience to him. It's just
what does that say about like a person? Like, because if you sacrifice yourself like that, you're not coming back.
like that takes it from saving someone you care about from a car, by pushing them out of the way to somehow saving them by taking all your clothes off and burning them. Like, you'll get clothes again eventually. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it's just like that choice you made to save them just means less. And like also this place takes place in Maine.
Yeah.
And let's see, it showed like parts of him landed in Greenland as far as we know. And I was curious. So I did the math. Because I was like, maybe it has potential.
Went on Matt Pat.
Yeah, I went a little bit of Matt Pat. And my math could be like wrong, but so it's let's see, his foot was like clearly just walking, is getting there like slowly but surely. So if we take the average walking speed, right, which is like 3 to 4 miles an hour, and I think that's safe to say for all of his parts. Because, his foot's big and it counts for more distance over time, but, like, it's not moving as frequently. So it's probably about walking speed. And you get shit like screws that's just rolling throughout.
Basically, you probably calculate how long it would take for him to reunite with himself.
Yes, and get back to Hogarth, which is, like, 2,000 miles away.
Yeah, let's just say it was, like 300 years and they'll never meet again anyway.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought like, oh, maybe it'll take like, if it was across the globe, it'll take like 100 years. So like he'll fully form, but it'll be after Hogarth's life. So
yeah,
that can't way more tragic. But no,
that's not the case.
But no, if it takes 24 straight days of walking for 2,000 miles, and let's see, he's a robot. He doesn't need, if he's reassembling, he doesn't need to eat for that.
And his steps are pretty wide.
Yeah, he doesn't need to stop. And
he can fly.
This is taking into account of just of all his parts, kind of like taking the average walking speed and average speed of each part to get to each other. Some smaller than others, some being able to move better than others.
Yeah, but once he's back together,
and also he woke up. His head just woke up, so he's still like there. He's just gonna just wait. So it's not like he's dead either or unconscious. He's fully aware. He's just waiting. So it'll take less than a month of just straight walking, and then it's just going to be like as if nothing happened. You know how like short period of time a month is? It's going to just, okay. And it also kind of invalidates the statue of him to immortalize like his deed and all that.
Yeah, I gotta, like, just honestly, I don't like the ending. like at all. I like it a lot when he sacrifices himself. If the movie cut right after that, sure.
So my fix for it is either just not have that end sequence, or show that his parts spread all across the globe, and that it's going to take a very long time, longer than Hogarth's life, to reunite. Because then you have that thing that because then you can like kind of fake out that happy ending. Like the kids are going to be like, "Oh, the giant's fine," but as an adult, you realize, "Oh shit, Hogarth is going to be dead. He's never going to see the giant again anyway."
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's.
I feel like that. I feel like the latter would make the movie just better.
It's a
the
little
ending better. I mean,
it's like a little. Given it's my own fault for like having forgotten about it, but it felt deceptive with how I remembered this movie ending. Versus like how it really ends.
I think that was
the impactful scene is definitely the sacrifice. So
yeah,
just to end it there.
I mean, yeah, it was also like super impactful too. As he says Superman to himself.
Yep.
When he does it, he nearly fucking cried again.
And I'll be honest, it might have taken a point off for me.
Oh no, it definitely has for me.
Okay,
at least a point. For sure.
Because
at how it stands. Because sadly I can't ignore that. I'm going to, for my own headcanon's sake.
Same.
But as it is as a piece of work, we kind of can't. Also, I just remembered quickly when he first starts shooting at Hogarth because he sees a squirt gun.
Yeah.
First of all, shouldn't he be able to realize that is a non-lethal like gun electronic?
Yeah.
If he's a super advanced robot. 2, wouldn't Hogarth hear the lasers and explosions happening behind him?
Yeah, I can forgive that for the thematic.
Yeah, like he didn't see it.
It's about guns.
He didn't see it, and us as kids were like, "Oh, he didn't see it." You know.
Really though, I love the balls of this movie to go after guns. Like just to repeat that, because that's still such a controversial thing. Like so many, the majority of people are gonna hate that. Like actually, so
they're gonna call it like. They're going to call it whatever they want, like brainwashing or just propaganda or whatever, or just like trying to get kids to stray away from violence or whatever.
And they were very on the nose at points, and I think to the film's strength to just literally say guns kill. Multiple times, guns kill.
That's why.
I'm not even saying if I'm in that camp, but like it's just ballsy to say that because the whole motto is guns don't kill people, people kill people.
I'll double down on ballsy. I'll like absolutely say on a public forum I'm in that camp.
Okay.
And if I'll triple down, if maybe not, maybe I won't triple down here. It's not my channel. If it was, I would say some choice words, but we're not. So, what the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, that's why like movies like this are so like goddamn important for like adults to actually rewatch, not just label off as kids. Which, by the way, if you do that, you're fucking. You're a bigot. I'm just gonna say that. Like, just get the fuck out of here. Like, you're the reason why entertainment is like such shit. Why shows like that are just utter trash and just mindless filth exist.
A lot of times, I personally don't go back and watch stuff for like that I would watch.
I think people need to like to just kind of rethink their values. I guess.
I think you can get something out of it, and I definitely did here. But it's never like, I kind of want to, at least for now, I've got a lot of years left in my life. At the moment, I want to watch stuff like classics for adults.
Yeah, but we still watch like meaningful things that tackle subjects that are more within our caliber of thinking.
Yeah.
Not to say like, again, I'm not writing this off as for kids. I think it's important that adults watch this too. The ones that don't know better.
Yeah,
I'll just say succinctly.
Adults could take something from it. So
exactly.
Do you want to do ratings?
If you write off for kids, you're just mentally inept. I'm just gonna say. I'm what? I'll die on this hill.
Yeah, you can. It's just I think it's also a preference thing. So.
Well, I think if people are so quick to write it off for that, then they're not ones that typically like to think deeply about things.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that, but I know personally I prefer something that feels a bit more adult. And
Me too.
Sometimes this stuff does, and other times it really doesn't.
Me too. I'm talking strictly about the camp that is like, animations like things are for kids.
Oh, or okay, yeah. No, I can get behind that.
Or G-rated movies are for kids. And like, to bring this back full circle from what I talked about in the beginning, of when movies do that one line to avoid the G rating. That is the problem. That, like, it is the people who are like, G-rated things are for kids is why we get trash that is just PG for the sake of being PG.
Right.
And that is that's my thesis there. So I'll take your closing thoughts. We'll wrap this up.
I actually have to adjust my rating because I was really... What I did is I rated this movie prematurely, which I never do, but I thought it was over after the sacrifice.
I've been really holding off on ratings lately.
No, so yeah, the sacrifice happened, and I don't need to do final thoughts. I feel like I summed myself up.
Yeah, I feel like we both did pretty well.
I logged it as a 9 out of 10.
Cool.
Really loved it. And then the final scene happened, and I was so conflicted because I really didn't like that. And I was like, is that worth taking a point off? And as you just heard, I decided it is. I'm going with an 8 out of 10.
Likewise, I took a point off from the ending as well, and other the smaller things too that added up that kind of boosted that. So but that said, I'm giving this movie a light 9. No, solid 9. Solid 9 out of 10. It was going to be a light 10.
Okay.
And then I took that point off, so it's a solid 9
Mm-hmm.
for me. I do think some of the writing could be upscaled just a little bit. It doesn't need to be, so I guess blunt about topics.
Right.
Mostly, not with guns, not with the messages either. Mostly with the FBI agent, like kind of how the ending of events take place. And Dean with banging Hogarth's mom.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool.
So that's the Iron Giant, guys.
So we loved it.
Like it or hate it. What would you rate it in the comments? I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I just gave you my rating.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, people watching, go rewatch it, like, genuinely, if you haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, it just really bummed me out because in my head canon it was all about that ending, and the ending wasn't what I remember.
Yeah, there's definitely something to take from this again, rewatching this when you're older, and if you were offended about what I said earlier, tough shit. Moving on.
Ooh. All right, everyone. Something much more serious and heartfelt. Okay.
Yeah, genuinely.
All
right.
Hi.
Your recommendation this week?
I'm James, and I recommended Blink-182.
Yep, on the podcast right after Linkin Park.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we're going for like an early 2000s kind of vibe here, I guess.
What else have you given me? Because you've only been giving me like the big stuff, like not things that you're like, oh, I discovered this. It's more or less. You know what? I can't help but feel a little exploited here in that I haven't.
I gave you Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, you give me Pulp Fiction. I'm trying to look at the channel, but it's hard to do that and talk. Whatever. I feel like you're exploiting me a little bit with like how little I've experienced in terms of like the big stuff.
Yeah,
like
you're gonna get a big one today too.
Like Lord of the Rings. Like this is Skylar has seen this for the first time, like pretty much for your Rex lately.
Yeah, and like you're gonna still get some stuff that's like recognized as great classics, but like I'm gonna kind of come down after next week. I'm gonna come down off of this humongous, humongous giants that you've never experienced.
I've done that too.
This one doesn't even fit that. Let's just say,
right? Yeah, it's not as giant, but it's still Blink-182. You know,
yeah, it's a Blink album
that you want to talk about.
Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, like I said, I did that too. You know, I did Dark Side of the Moon, The Wall, and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep doing it.
You recommended me some classic albums, and I recommended some movies.
But more or less, it is something that I want you to experience so we can talk about it and shit.
Perfect.
Big old things.
So we'll get into that, but for now, Blink-182.
Which album?
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
All right, well, if you insist.
Yes.
All right, zip. My jacket's already off.
So yeah, not Enema of the State, not the Untitled album.
Self-titled or
Toy
whatever.
Patch.
Toy Patch. I was just about to say Toy Patch.
Yeah.
2001. So like same time period, really.
Yeah, and the one I'm gonna give you today is that too. So
that is strange.
Same, around there.
It is strange for me. Like 2 years later, like Blink existed at the same time of the Iron Giant. You know.
Yeah.
That's
Enema of the State came out that year. So that's funny.
Oh man.
all
Ween
the
was
small
doing their
things.
shit before, like during the Iron Giant too. That's so strange.
Yeah.
Not like the soundtrack I would picture for that time period, but
So-
I was like 2. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk pretty freely about this because I didn't take notes aside from usual like, love, man, with dislike, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's because this was one of the first albums I really ever heard that I remember. Like, it was this and that. After this, I remember, like, American Idiot, which was a few years later, and System of a Down, and My Chemical Romance before the Black Parade, the Sweet Revenge. This is one of the earliest albums that I would pop into my fucking CD player and play in my headphones as I walked around my house.
You just
And it was
walked
the
around
clean,
your house
yeah,
listening to
and it was the
this.
clean version of this album. So I'll have some funny things to at
Oh.
least one funny thing to give about that.
Clean Blink. That sounds hilarious, like in and of itself.
Yeah,
Clean Green Day already sounds funny, but like
that too. I literally had a version of American Idiot that had a bleep. So it was like, I think my brother found it on LimeWire or some shit. So it was like, the subliminal my beep America. And it was like awful to listen to.
oh man, just
Yeah.
hitting that fucking 3K frequency in the middle of a song just to be like, just to annoy you.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, gotta love the music industry. All right. Yeah, take off your pants and jacket. Let's see.
What'd you think?
What do I think? Well, I'm also gonna be talking about this pretty freeformly as well.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of what to do for Blink because, like, really, for Blink, what else is there going on other than like chords, drum beat, and melody?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty bare bones as it gets. Not like as an insult towards it at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not a whole lot else to like dive into, I guess, other than like I really enjoyed this part.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess I'm still dodging the question of what I thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I reveal my whole hand now or do I wait? Because those are your two options.
Do what you want.
Fuck you. God damn it.
Talk about the album.
I really enjoy this album.
Really?
Yes, I really enjoy this album.
That's interesting. Okay.
That's my partial hand. Let's talk about the least interesting thing first to get out of the way. The album cover, the album art.
Really?
Well, I mean,
It is kind of iconic, but I could see that.
I mean, uninteresting in that like to talk about.
Okay.
I didn't call it interesting. I actually respect it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's recognizable, and it's like there's not much going on other than just like you get like the traffic light thing,
Mm-hmm.
where it's kind of like segmented and shit.
I do. Yeah.
And it doesn't say it anywhere. It's just you get like the icons of like
Plane taking off.
plane taking off, pants, jacket. Yeah,
Take off pants, jacket. Yeah.
take off.
And if you have it on CD and you open it, then there's like a little image in each of like 14 or however many songs are on it. Like all the slots, like there's an image to represent each one.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just respect the album.
And it looks like a traffic light.
It's a traffic light.
Yeah.
It's already like which I don't know. But you get self-titled and Enema, which are like just iconic. But then you have this, which already just for Blink is probably the most adult-looking album cover that they have.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, let's see.
except
now I'm
what it
looking.
actually represents is jerking off.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
like I mean, in terms of like visual design,
Yeah.
I still appreciate like
Yeah.
their message just of like just jerking off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get
That's-
their earlier stuff is just fucking weird, and then their later stuff is just geeky and just kind of just way more on pop punk. So this is kind of like, in a way, the most unique album cover that they have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah.
I guess that's my claim or whatever.
I could see that. I mean, the self-titled one or untitled was just their logo.
Yeah, and like it has the colors. It's iconic.
That's cool because it made that logo.
Yeah.
So
And same thing with Enema, but like all the other ones are kind of like
okay.
it reflects Blink. They're it's kind of immature looking.
Yeah, my hot take is I've never loved the cover of Enema. It's just like you're gonna
Well, I'm
get an
just
Enema. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's iconic.
Yeah.
you know.
Right. It is.
if you're asking me what I prefer or like what my most favorite is, in order it would be self-titled, the live album, and then this, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Right. Well, I guess just quick, I should have said it immediately when you said that you enjoyed it a lot. Because, like, some background, you're not known to enjoy Blink. You didn't think you'd enjoy any Blink for sure.
No. That was a very Lynchian no. Yeah, you had me listen to Self-Titled and Anima as well. And I probably like Anima more.
Huh, okay.
I don't remember. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Both of
You
the
thought they
albums
were
were
like,
kind of forgettable. Anima was all forgettable until Adam's song.
Right.
It's like, for me, like my experience with Blink has just been like 5, 5, 6, 5, 7, 5, 5, 5, 5, Adam's, and then Adam's song 10, 5, 5, 6, 5, 7.
That's the thing with Blink. If they attempt to go like serious, and I have to be careful with this, like back in the day, they'd throw in like one serious song on every album and it would be the best one. Now, like with modern Blink, they try and make every song like needlessly melodramatic, and it's clearly like not genuine, and that doesn't work either.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not really so much about that it's serious.
Yeah.
I'm not really one for the lyrics. They can help for sure. But like I don't strictly look at that either. And I really do like how immature they are.
Yeah.
I love the live album.
Right.
That's my favorite. That's King, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. And there's even a song on here that is genuinely hilarious. I'm gonna be real blunt here. My problem with Blink is Tom.
Right. Okay. I'm not surprised. You've never liked his voice.
No. And like I know that
his voice has varying levels of obnoxious for me. And that's gonna demonstrate in my rankings.
Right. And like, and I get that's like the whole sound of Blink.
Yeah.
And I guess why girls like it.
Okay. Yeah. Who knows?
Girls specifically, like no, genuinely, like you hear girls more talk about Blink than anything, and it's the guys that talk Green Day maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really
won't comment because I don't know.
I mean, okay, I'm not like generalizing. It's off of my observation, like literally. Same thing with like
people do respect.
Same thing with MCR. He's kind of got like that kind of like twangy treble voice.
Right, but Gerard Way.
Gerard is an amazing singer.
He's a great singer.
Yeah, and Tom just annoys me.
They're both unique, but I think it's up for debate.
But that's what I mean when I meant by that. I'm not being sexist.
Yeah, it is a strange phenomenon in my personal life that it's easier to find people who respect and love Blink than it is Green Day, and maybe that's just my circle of friends. But always something to throw out, throw out there.
Not sure. I mean, they're definitely like way more party, like Blink. So I think that's about it, really.
Maybe it's because Blink never got political.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. Did you have any like overall thoughts, or did you just want to go track by track?
Well, those were kind of my overall thoughts.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and obviously, I don't know. Yeah, Tom was my huge problem. Travis sometimes, like he
I
just goes
actually
nuts.
really like what he does on a lot of these. I feel like he was more...
This album, no, yeah, I have no problem with it. I just meant like,
he was more subtle with how good he was back then. Like, it always fit, I felt like. Now, sometimes the example I always point out is on California. There's that one song. She said, what's it fucking called? Tonight's a waste of time. I don't know what it's fucking called. But if you know that song... it starts off like slow and dramatic with like chords and like bass.
Oh yeah.
And then the drums like it's like what the fuck, dude? Yeah.
Just a whole bunch of like sub rhythms of 16th notes and shit.
Yeah, like it used to totally fit. I feel like, and sometimes now. Like, it just distracts me. It's like, yeah, okay, he's real good.
Yes,
but
that is the huge end of the spectrum.
It's called No Future.
What I meant with Travis.
Mm-hmm.
And to finish this my stance preamble, just kind of like preface of how I feel about Blink. That said, with like Tom and Travis, that makes me a hipster because Mark is my guy.
That's funny.
And and it makes sense because I love Adam's song. That's Mark singing. And the biggest hot take I'm ever going to say, I don't like I Miss You. I understand that it's huge, but like...
It's never been my favorite either, but I do like it. But...
I like what's happening musically. It's just... Tom is at his peak annoying like voice.
I really don't hate Tom on this older stuff. That's the weird thing. When they came back and he would sing with them live, he sounded terrible in my opinion. For some of these, he sounds obnoxious, and we'll get to that. But for some of these, his voice does work, especially usually when they trade off. It's a good Blink song, in my opinion.
Yes,
so
I agree. But like that all said, Tom didn't annoy me on this album. Maybe that's why I really like it.
Okay, he annoyed me once or twice. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But
let's finally get into track by track here.
Let's do it.
I feel like that's the most we're gonna be talking about Blink. We're gonna probably kind of speed through this, I feel like.
Yeah, Anthem Part 2.
Anthem Part 2.
Which is an actual Part 2 because the last song on Enema before this was called Anthem. So that's cool.
I see.
Yeah.
I think it's a really great intro.
I love it.
With the instrumentals, it really gets me like, popping, getting my head bobbing. Even though it's just like guitars just going na 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 yeah. And then Tom starts singing.
Everything has fallen to peace. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I get in this groove because it's like the first like minute or two of just instrumental, like the guitar building up, and then Tom starts singing. I'm like, oh god damn it, I'm listening to a Blink album. But I get used to it, and I actually end up really enjoying the song.
I'll show my hand. Like this one's in love.
This one's in like for me.
This was one of the ones that sold me on Blink as a kid. So, yeah, I really like the extended intro. Like it doesn't. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I skipped the opening track because they wanted like this big theatrical 2-minute intro. But this one, like the little instrumental for first minute or so, always gets me hyped.
Serves for a good intro, yeah. Like I said, that's the strength of it. I think just from how jarring Tom's entrance is I knocked it down to like. Just
Sure.
because it always just like, I get so like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And then, yeah, everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom.
We really need.
Tom.
I really like the chorus of this.
Yeah, I do like the chorus. I actually really enjoy the song though, still. Like, you know, with all that. It's just jarring first hearing his voice. Like,
yeah.
I'm honestly like kind of biased to that. I don't like it when like the singer jarringly comes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Elliot's songs do that sometimes, like a couple of them. Pretty Mary Kay, Amity, that too.
Amity, yeah, that's funny.
Question mark, just where it opens up with that and like kind of a like a higher frequency. I'm just like such it's just I don't know, it's jarring.
Sure. Let's see. I had the song as my ringtone for a really long time when I was like 12.
That's funny.
Yeah.
When I first heard the song, I thought, oh no, do I love this?
Oh no.
Oh no, do I like this? But no, I do really like Anthem Part 2, other than that.
I'm glad you stayed open-minded to it then.
I do love I like the chorus, and I like what ends up happening. It's just, yeah, that's just that opening.
It's one of my favorites on here. By the way, we might like this album about as much as each other, which is kind of surprising. Because while I grew up with it, in a weird way, I think maybe Linkin Park held up a little better for me. So we might notice that as we go through this.
Yeah. I think I said all I needed to about this song, though. So
yeah.
I'm ready to keep going.
Perfect. Online songs.
Online songs.
I'm sure you liked this for a reason.
This is in like, and I like it more than Anthem Part 2.
Okay, huh? This isn't like for me.
Hold on, I have to fucking hear this. Oh yeah, yeah.
I like the chorus of this. Please don't remind me. Put your best foot behind me. Yeah,
yeah. It's a good rhythm, and it gets me going.
But honestly,
and Mark starts singing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Not jarring. So like, if it was Tom, this would probably be like right in the bin.
There's quite a hot take from me because usually I hate this tendency with Blink, but. One of my favorite parts of the song is the na 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 part.
There's a na na part?
Yeah. She said, na 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 na. I
It's
just
a good
forgot you were
melody.
there. Yeah.
It's a good melody. I
Yeah.
literally heard this 3 times, and like I still remember that. Like I was actually like doing that with you,
Yeah.
which says something. Because I feel like Blink's melodies,
mhm.
aren't really the greatest sometimes. But I think of this album as a whole, they're pretty on point.
This song, so it's a lower like for me. So I've never liked this as much as Anthem Part 2 personally, but it makes sense to me as someone who prefers Mark's voice. You'll see kind of a disconnect, I guess, because some of the Tom-led ones are pretty high for me, and some of the Mark-led ones are lower for me. But I just, there's no clear chemistry to it. It's really about the songwriting for me on this with Blink.
I just enjoy what's going on throughout the song, so that's why I enjoy it more.
Right, it's a fucking fast one. I don't think Mark loves the song either.
I like what's going on, like with rhythm too, like in the chorus, like we went over.
Yeah. But yes, like this song is kind of like a meme. A bunch of Blink fans are like, play online songs, and someone asked him like during a live stream, and he was like, no. We're never gonna play that song live again or something.
They just overplay it.
Yeah, I don't know. But they're kind of really annoying as far as live performances go. They've played the same set for the last 10 years, and I have no interest in changing it up.
Right.
Which I hate that, because when you go see a band, you're going for like the unique experience of that night when you're seeing them, when they're gonna play some deep cuts or whatever.
Yeah, I don't want to just hear the hits,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
unless it's like Streetlight, where that's all there is,
Yeah, they're all bangers.
Yeah. But that said, I don't want any shit in
I want
there
hits.
either. I don't want to go fucking see Green Day and for the first song to play Know Your Enemy.
Yeah. No, I want hits, but I want them to spice it up. Throw in 2 or 3 deep cuts that are like special for you. Or a few shows on that tour. But yeah, anyway, little tangent.
That's why the live album is just king for me.
Little tangent, but like that's why I don't love how Mark views that, because like a lot of people love the song, and it's like we've all heard fucking feeling this every night. Like we don't need to, or don't drop a song that's as big as that, but maybe something people don't care as much about. Whatever. Right. That's a tangent. Third song.
Sure. Yeah. Next song. First Date.
I don't really like it that much. This one's a meh.
I love this song.
This
funny.
Is fucked with
easily.
That's funny. This is very Tom. Very Tom.
Yeah, it is. But I just really like what's going on. I enjoy it. I've thoroughly enjoyed it every time it came on, so it's cemented in my favorites.
That's cool. For me, this is like more of a like kind of, I guess, generic like whiny pop punk. Like I'm sure you could pick up on some of the lyrics about. It's just about like a first date and being nervous.
This lasts forever.
Yeah.
And ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You make me nervous, so I really can't eat. Like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like there's just. It's very like a younger person.
I do like the lyrics though. I picked up on them.
Yeah.
Like are they like, don't hit that you're capable of lies. Like
yeah.
That shit.
When you're like 14 and you're gonna have your first date, this is your song, man.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's like this is it's like, you know, it's like where every, buddy is. It's like, oh, you're perfect right now, but like it's gonna, like in the song it's like it's gonna end horribly, but like why don't we make this part last forever?
Yeah.
It's like a memory and shit. I'm really sentimental and shit when it comes to that stuff, like in particular. So like that's why lyrically it's just like yeah, it's there. It's kind of like a default way to get into my favorite shit, I guess.
Right.
Just talk about memories and like that kind of concept.
The music video for this one's pretty great. It's where Tom dressed up as Boomer, which now means a different thing. But yeah, funny music video. I'll have to show you. They all dressed up and just went around and fucked around and shit. But yeah, recurring theme maybe for a little bit. This is one of the hits on the album, and it's not one of my favorites. So that's gonna happen again.
Oh yeah, this is in their top 5.
Yeah,
that I saw, which is a little strange. Like I love it, but not like that much,
Yeah, you don't really hear it.
I don't think this is gonna be number 4, but like I'm not really shocked either.
Yeah,
it's kind of like it's kind of like a Disney Channel chorus, but like I kind of love it.
I very much forget this song exists, and like I'm like, oh yeah, it's not that bad. Like I wanted to put it in like it's my highest meh. So, and I don't have a dislike, but I have a few mehs.
Right.
Yeah. So that's that.
Cool.
Glad you liked it.
I love this song.
Glad you love it.
This is a bop. I'm not sure if it's like 3rd or 2nd. It's definitely one of them there.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
I think
I forgot
it's-
about top 3.
I think it's second. It's number 2.
Oh, then I should have mentioned
I'm gonna
that.
label this as number 2 for me.
That I think Anthem Part 2 is my number 3. It's just since like I didn't mention that when we talked about
That's a
it.
solid choice. I think it's a runner-up for me. Also, maybe. No, never mind. I literally just said that Online Songs is.
Yeah,
like
it's better than.
Yeah, so never mind.
Cool. Let's go on.
Happy Holidays, you bastard.
So
Easily fucks with.
let me just say that this song is the best on the clean version because you get no you get 40 seconds of instrumental and then I'll never talk to you again.
Oh, god damn it.
And when I first heard this song uncensored, it was like a totally different song to me. I was like, what is this?
Like, what?
This song's not on the album. Like, and it all made sense when I looked at the lyrics.
Oh man, this song, yeah, that's my favorite.
That's hilarious.
Fucks with.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised.
Top favorite.
You like when Blink does the funny voice.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
I'll never talk to you again unless you trick me off.
It's
Unless your mother sucks my cock. Ejaculate into a sock.
yeah. So to disappoint you, I guess it's like it's in like, but it's like a pretty low like. It's like
It's fair. That's fair. I just enjoy it so much.
I don't always love the Blink joke songs. My favorite's probably "Fuck a Dog."
Fuck
which,
a dog. I like fuck a dog.
Which here's the problem with this. There's the additional songs that are meant to be on this album. I wish I like remembered to tell you listen to those because we're not going to talk about them. But "What Went Wrong" is one of them. That's one of my favorite. That would be in the top 3 for me probably. "Fuck a Dog" was also a bonus song for this album, and I think "Time to Break Up," and that's just like a normal Blink song. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly mention that. This song, it's funny. It's short. It's a meme. It's Labor Day, and my grandpa just ate 7 fucking hot dogs.
Oh yeah.
And he shit his pants. He's always fucking shit his pants. Yeah. So yeah, it's a low like for me. I'm not surprised that a meme is in your top. It is your number 1.
Okay, I'm fucking with you. It's not.
It's not.
No, it's not.
I would have 100% believed you.
I mean, it kind of is, but like it's honestly in its own league for like enjoyment.
Yeah.
Judging it musically, it's in like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's in like, but like, out of enjoyment wise, it isn't fucked with. Like, yeah,
right.
It's in its own league. I'm just getting it out there.
Cool. Yeah, and I think fuck a dog is funnier for me. Maybe it's just my juvenile sense of humor, but they are both pretty juvenile.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shitting his pants.
Cool. Then next track, "Story of a Lonely Guy," I think.
Story of a Lonely Guy.
One of my
fucks with.
favorites. Yeah. Okay.
This is number 3 for me.
This was number 3 for me. I think I just switched it out with Anthem Part 2, so it's number 2 for me.
Cool.
One of my favorites. No one really talks about this song. Like,
I figured you were gonna like it too.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, this is gonna be one of his faves.
I'd want to see it live or something. I don't even know if they ever fucking played it live. I mean, I guess Skiba's with them now. There's like virtually no chance of this ever being played live. Like, even if Tom goes back, they wouldn't just play this ever. So that sucks. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, the lyrics again are pretty, pop punk cliche. She makes me feel like it's raining outside and all that stuff. But but I really dig what's going on melodically, I guess. Tom doesn't sound too obnoxious. You have Mark doing those da 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 da. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like that part.
And even though the chorus is like kind of generic lyrically and even musically, like it still comes on strong. Like it's a bop when it hits. So I'm into it. That's how I feel.
Same here.
Cool. So that's it for that one.
Enjoyed it. Yep.
Thanks.
The Rock Show.
Okay.
Look at me. I remembered it. I didn't even pull it up.
All right. Well, I'm ready to disappoint people because it's another meh for me.
It's in like for me.
Okay. Good.
I think
I've never loved this song.
Let's see. I got a little confused the other night because I was listening to it on my phone, and like I had it up on my screen because I was like, multitasking. So I was like, oh, I can look at what song it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I listen to them on my phone so that way I can actually get up and go to the bathroom without pausing the music or whatever.
Yeah.
Or doing other shit. And it lagged behind, and like some other song played, and I was just like, "Well, that's a rock show? Like, what the fuck?" And it wasn't. It was like 2 songs later or some shit. So I had to like reevaluate my list.
Okay.
But like, no, but the rock show definitely, that's a banger.
Okay, and it's in like for you.
Yeah, it's in like.
Okay.
I might like make like a subcategory called really like and put it there.
Like this is a big one for a lot of people. This might also be in their top 5. I didn't check their top 5. But yeah, like my mom loves this one. Like everyone loves this song, and for me, something about it has never landed too much. It's pretty much a pop punk formula again, through and through. It's catchy and shit. It was in Splashdown, which is like a jet skiing game that I had when I was a kid. Maybe where I first heard the song. But something about it. I like the bridge the most, actually.
Do it for me.
Black and white picture of her on my wall. I waited for her call. She always kept me waiting. There's like a little weird time signature thing going on there too, where he goes just like a little over the 4/4. I just scared my cat.
That sounded like 4/4 to me, but I just asked because I remembered there was a bridge I really liked in one of the songs, and I was like, I'm not sure if it was this one or not.
I don't think it's worth like being your favorite bridge or anything, but I think like it's the best part of the song for me.
No, that's what I meant. It's like I know there was one song where I thought the same thing, but I don't think it's that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So it's all right. It's a meh for me. I think I like First Date a little more even.
I mean, same, but I really like this. This is one of the higher songs for me.
Cool.
On this album.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm not just being a hipster and hating on the hits. Like these ones just like never landed for me as much as some of the album tracks, even as a kid. The last hit though lands pretty high for me. Actually, the highest for me, which I think is the next song. Is it? No,
I didn't remember it. You only get one.
We got.
Oh, I was right. Stay Together for the Kids.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
This is my favorite as well. Shocker! Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Again, when
roller coaster.
No, when back then when Blink would throw in that token more serious song, it just hit. Like this is a good song.
Oh, this is amazing, and like I think this is where I think
Tom nails it.
This is where I think Tom is at his strongest.
He sounds emotional.
Where
like
he should
passionate.
be utilized.
Yeah.
In choruses, for that.
Yeah.
Like Mark sets it up, and then Tom can yell all he wants because because it's higher.
Uh-huh. Hope you enjoyed this time. Gave it all away. Yeah, like, and the chorus is just
so something like when you're dead and gone, like 20 years too late or some shit.
When you're dead and gone, hope you remember this night. 20 years now gone. Yeah, it's an anti-divorce song.
Yeah.
And I think it's really effective. Like this is a good song. It's not just like a good Blink song. Like it's a good song.
No, yeah, genuinely.
And Tom really brings a lot to it, which like you won't find me saying that for a bunch of Blink songs, but
instrumentally and rhythmically too, really cool.
Yeah,
like guitar licks that's happening along with the drums.
Mm-hmm. But on Tom, he brings an urgency to the vocals in the chorus, which like really needs. So, props. And the verses are, they're all good. Everything comes together. In short, so you had anything else for it or no?
That's about it. We gave it enough praise. I think there's my top 3 right there.
Cool.
Easily favorite on the song. Might even go as far to say my second favorite Blink song.
Right after Adam's song?
Yeah.
I could see it. It'd be up there for me too. So have we already gone over your top 3?
Yep.
Is it all downhill from here? Okay.
Yeah, actually.
So it's
because at this point everything has been in like and fucks with. So I'm just like, Jesus, how much am I gonna like the song? And then
so wait, what were your top 3 then?
In order, bottom to top, Story of a Lonely Guy, First Date, Stay Together for the Kids.
Okay, cool.
Roller coaster.
I was just trying to think how much of that is Tom. It's about like half and half, I guess.
Yeah, it's half and half. So like
roller coaster.
roller coaster.
It's all right.
Meh.
I put this one in like.
You get this really cool fucking song, you know, stay together for kids, all emotional and shit, and then it's just
Yeah. Breathing deeply, walking backwards. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
It's not like I don't enjoy the song. Like
I actually like the more chorusy the chorus section.
It's serviceable, but like it just became another Blink song for me. Like it just
it's a Mark led song.
It just kind of sounds like filler. It's just like it's forgettable.
I like that. I had that dream about you again, where you drive my car right off a fucking cliff. I like that. Just the melody at that point and what is it? I guess the rhythm of the melody. But I'd overall agree. This one doesn't really stand out. I thought it did when I was younger. And nah.
Nah. Yeah, nah.
It's in like, but it's a pretty standard serviceable song. What do we got?
Reckless Abandon.
Now here's one I loved a lot as a kid, and now I think is just all right.
Also in meh for me.
Okay, yeah.
Just didn't really enjoy it.
This is another
forgettable as well.
This is another like for me, but it's just like I put it right below Roller Coaster. They're kind of like standard Blink album tracks that you like when you're younger, at least in my experience. So fair enough. It's just kind of about partying and having a crazy summer.
Yeah.
So
it's about it.
It's about pizza. He says
about
pizza. Yeah. So
a song about pizza. It deserves it.
Yeah. What do we got?
What's after that? That's honestly, yeah.
Yeah, we're really jumping through these now.
Every Time I Look for You.
You know, I actually put this one in love, and I'm sure it's lower for you.
I put it in like.
Okay.
I don't remember why.
I like it because of a few things. There's the alternating vocals with Mark and Tom in this, which I think generally works really well on this album.
I think with this album, with the song, which makes apparent what has been happening at the album, is that they got some good harmonies going.
Yeah, and I just love that the back and forth right before the chorus, right there. Like
every time I look for you, the sun goes down.
Yeah, but right before that, their little back and forth, and I took note of the lyrics. It's like the only thing I took note of on this album, because I find it pretty clever the way, and like the words themselves, like the significance of how it's sung. What was it? Approach with vague intentions. Betray my short attention span the distance. Like he's into something else, like the double usage of the word span. I really love that. And then have it's Mark and then Tom back with bridge the border. Like I love that. And he does it again later in the song at like the same part. Is this too much to live through? It always seemed too far to drive the point home. It seemed too far to drive the point home. Like I just like that it's clever, because usually they don't really go for something like that that's like a double meaning of a word, and it transitions so seamlessly and thematically. So it's got all the things going on for it. For me, it's my fourth love, so I guess we're all downhill from here for me too.
We're gonna go back up a little uphill for me.
Okay.
That was kind of like the dip in quality for me.
Okay.
There, but it ended with this song. Oh, I guess a little bit, not really. There's one more in meh.
Okay.
And that's the song. Give me one good reason.
So this one's a meh for me too. This is actually probably my least favorite, and it's mostly because Tom's pretty obnoxious on this song.
I agree. And like it's got a good intro, but then like you got Tom yelling, and then all the other instruments fuck off and just go like really staccato, just yeah. dun. But then like
This one seems-
the rest, it's really cool. The dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah, the opening. I don't know, man. I almost feel like this song didn't need to be on the album. That's like a pretty mean thing to say.
You know, I do
guess,
enjoy
but-
the chorus though.
Really, yeah.
I do enjoy that chorus.
I think the chorus is, totally serviceable. But again, it's not in dislike. I've enjoyed the song, but it's definitely the low point. I've realized after revisiting. So
I can also appreciate the melodies
mhm.
in this.
Just like he's
so-
particularly obnoxious here.
Yeah, but like all the things I mentioned is what's keeping it from like going into whack, going to the bin.
Mom and Dad, they quite don't understand it. yeah,
Yeah, that's Tom right there.
yeah.
But then it's like it's cool by the
Why do
chorus.
girls want to pierce their nose? Like,
God, I already wanted to punch you. You're just right next to me.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I have for that.
Well, at least the album knew he was getting obnoxious, so that's why there's the next song. Shut up.
Shut up. Okay. I loved this one as a kid, and now it's like a mid-range like.
I like it as well. It's mid range, maybe lower.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Or as I heard it, shut the up. I'm going deaf. You're always too loud.
Run away. Yeah, I also think it doesn't sound like that much of a Blink song, which is maybe why I like it.
When I was young,
It kind of sounds more like Alkaline Trio.
that's funny.
A little bit. It could be like
Mm-hmm. When I was young, and I didn't understand why the words would be censored, I totally thought things were just like, that's just how it sounds. I was like, okay. Which was, I should have mentioned it back when we talked about it, but in the first song, in Anthem Part 2, in the chorus, when he's like, if we're fucked up, you're to blame. I always just thought it was like, if you're to blame. And I was like, what's he saying?
Is this up for interpretation?
Yeah, it actually took a minute for the melody to click with me that it goes down to like fucked up. I was like, whoa. If anyone else grew up with the Clean album, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't really say much about this one. It's just, I liked it better when I was younger. It sounds like, it's weird because like, this sounds more like let's get a divorce, and then like earlier in the album they're like anti-divorce.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe it's just about like some shitty relationship or friendship. Well, it's like it's about a relationship.
Right.
Cool.
Next song.
Let's finish this off.
Please take me home.
Yeah, there really isn't a
After-
bunch to say about any of these.
After this podcast.
Oh yeah, you got it, man.
I actually really like the song. This is like Nearly and Fucks With, I think.
It's actually pretty good. It's my top like.
I think this might be in one of my top likes too. It's a good
The
finisher for the
instrumental is
album.
pretty interesting too. And it's mostly because what Travis is doing, I guess.
Yeah, because the guitars are going. Yeah.
Travis does bring a lot. Like, that's what I mean. He doesn't sound obnoxious on this album. He just makes it sound more unique than a lot of pop punk. Because he's throwing in some weird, like, kind of rhythm that you don't hear all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really like distinguish much of like the chorus and verses, which kind of just makes it another just like it's a Blink song.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
a weird finale though.
I think-
It just feels like another album track.
I mean, I think it's good, but I think it's actually like pretty decent as a closer. But it could have been better like as
Mhm.
one, because otherwise it's just kind of like, oh yeah, it's a Blink song. It just keeps like, and you're just kind of waiting for it to like calm down so it can come back up.
right. My favorite part in this one's probably the little bridge section too. Why do we have to go date? And then it like picks up. Be strong when things fall apart.
is that
Be
the-
strong when things fall apart. Like the little call and response I always love.
Is the bridge there with the bass?
Dun,
Like, dun,
dun,
dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite bridge part. That's what I meant earlier. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun,
This one goes a little harder than some of the other standard Blink songs here, and I think I appreciate it.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate this.
So cool.
That's it.
That's it.
None of them landed in whack. Again, no dislikes.
That's cool.
Because we're pansies on this podcast. We got to talk about things we don't like.
There are a few.
We got to wreck a bad album and a bad movie for one time. Just have a bad time.
Well, I might just, I might find some stuff you don't like as much. I don't think there's anything that's
maybe
coming
that's what
up.
you planned when wrecking a Blink album. Is that what you planned?
I thought it'd be interesting. I didn't know what you would think. As time went on, I was like, did I wreck the right Blink album? Because, I wonder what it would have been like to go deep dive on Untitled or something, but who knows? Whatever, we did this one. And like I said, I think a lot of people grew up with this one. So, yeah.
Right.
So, do you have final thoughts, or are we just doing ratings?
My whole hand for this is I think this is my favorite Blink album.
Aside from the live album. I think it's going to
stay that.
Yeah.
Outside the live one, yeah, which doesn't really count. I mean, my favorite studio album.
Right. I also thought, there's Dude Ranch, there's Neighborhoods, which I never even gave the time of day. I still, should probably give it a listen at some point. But, yeah, I don't know. I like to think that this one or Self-Titled would be my favorite Blink album.
I just don't think, for me, that the other albums are going to be as consistent as this, which is why, I think it's going to be my favorite Blink album.
Cool.
And I've heard parts of it as well, so it kind of benefited that too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So okay, yeah, go ahead and give it a rating. I think we're gonna have the same rating.
Perhaps, I'm not sure. I'm feeling it, with this album.
Mm-hmm.
That said, it's a Blink album, and I'm probably not going to give it much time of day afterwards. I'll maybe put it on every once in a while if I'm hyped up on caffeine doing some shit.
Or just add one or two of your favorites to some playlists.
Yeah, probably. I still remember, the top 4 in this. Yeah, so that said, since I'm probably not going to revisit it too much, I'm feeling a hard 7 on this.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Wow.
Wow.
No, yeah, that is... I wasn't expecting that. I thought when you said hard, I thought it was going to be a 6. So
it's definitely not a 6.
Okay,
definitely above that.
Because I was like, it wouldn't be a hard 7 because that's almost an 8. I gave this a 7 as well, which is it's so sobering to do this podcast and discuss things that you grew up with,
right?
And then assign a number to something you've just it's just been ever present in your life. And it's oh shit. So I really came to terms with that this thing that's just an icon in my life. It's a 7 out of 10. Yeah, but it's cool. I'm glad that we did it. I'm glad I revisited it. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that something like Blink held up a bit less for me than something like Linkin Park.
Right.
But 7 out of 10 is still a good rating.
I like the Blink album more than I do Linkin Park. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, you did. I know.
How do you feel about that?
No, that's fine.
I'm just asking.
I don't know. A lot of what resonates with the Linkin Park stuff for me is the themes now. And, it's kind of hard to make some bullshit claim they're doing it for attention when, what happened with Linkin Park happened with Linkin Park. But... with Blink, it's they're having fun. It's juvenile. It's there's a reason it appeals to everyone when they're 12 or 13, and there's no problem with being into it now. So, yeah, that's that.
I listened to a Blink album and actually enjoyed it.
Couple of 7s.
I'm gonna need a shower after this.
Yeah.
Wait, you gave it a 7 as well?
Yeah, I gave it a 7.
Well, look, we're on the same page like you thought. Cool.
I would just say I never say hard or soft or whatever. I mean, I try not to, but I'd say pretty decent 7.
I kind of like that. I like that gimmick I have, genuinely. Right. It helps distinguish where it kind of leans,
Yeah, you could do the YMS way. It's closer to an 8 than a 6.
Yeah, but I'm doing the Fantano route.
Yeah. Okay.
Instead of light or strong, it's soft or hard.
Yes. So let's do it. Let's do recommendations.
Yeah, rec time. Wow, just at the 2-hour mark.
Rec time, yes. And it's my turn
Yeah,
to
what do you
wreck
got for
you
me, Chief?
first.
What do you got for me? Another big boy?
Big boy, big boy.
Oh,
Big,
boy.
big, big boy.
Oh, boy.
It's not like a long boy by any means.
You know, one of these days, like I told you a bit ago, I'm going to just drop Star Wars on you, on your lap at some point.
Well, yeah, but it's not like long like Star Wars. It's just a big boy.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
And I don't know really how to talk around it. You're getting Fight Club.
Dope.
Yeah.
Wait. So you're telling me next week
Next week
we're going to talk about Fight Club?
we're gonna talk about Fight Club.
The one fucking rule that I know.
Yeah.
That's all I know from this as well.
Yeah, I knew you hadn't seen it. I made sure to nonchalantly ask you. You probably figured out he's gonna wreck it, but whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I knew. I knew you because you said that when we were playing Smash because I call a certain segment of Hyrule Temple Fight Club.
And I was like, you haven't even seen it, but I just wanted to make sure because I was like, he hasn't seen it, right?
We've also talked on the park about this, and I was like, I knew I was going to get it, and I'm also excited for it because isn't it Tarantino also?
It's not Tarantino. It's David Fincher.
Gotcha. It's still like a big ass name in like cinema, pop culture as well.
Yeah, he's kind of not at all a one-trick pony because he's the same dude behind Seven and The Social Network and fucking Gone Girl, Zodiac. I've been watching a bunch of movies by him lately, and it's kind of just like, wow, he did Fight Club, and it's this cultural phenomenon, and apparently a lot of people don't get the movie, and I'm a little confused about that after my one viewing. But yeah, it'll be something to discuss. This one's up there with Pulp Fiction, and just like you never hear the end of it. I also saw this pretty recently, like 2 months ago, tops.
Right.
So, decide we're gonna do it, and then this is, with being such a giant that it is, and I've had it planned for a little bit. This is the end again to my series of big boys. Any big boys from here on out are purely coincidental.
Cool. I mean, I'm honestly looking forward to Fight Club. Doesn't have fuck? Doesn't that have the big boy, the boy?
Brad Pitt?
Okay, I thought it was the other boy.
It does have Brad Pitt. You thought Matt Damon?
Matt Damon.
No, it's Brad Pitt.
Damn it, Brad Pitt. It's the other boy. All right, that's fine. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I say Fight Club a lot in my vernacular, so it'll be fun.
Right. Okay. What do you got?
All right. Well, if you remember correctly, I said I had an extra one for my little gimmick.
You do.
Like revisiting things. But I'm throwing down a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap card.
You're doing a last second surprise wreck.
I'm throwing a curveball because
your dad showed you something.
Because I'm not waiting, and fuck you. I'm not waiting.
Yeah.
I want to share this. You're getting an album.
Okay.
You're getting the album that I've heard, and I'm too excited to talk about it. I don't want to wait an extra week. So, without further ado, you're getting Remote Control by the Tubes.
By the Tubes. I've never even heard of this. Okay. Remote Control.
Came out in 1979. Yeah, I already heard it 3 times, and I'm probably going to listen to it 3 more times. I'm not really going to hide my excitement about this album, really.
Yeah, well, you haven't, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess you know what? I'm not really going to give you much of anything to anticipate, but I will say, I guess, what to expect. They kind of sound like Queen and Pink Floyd. Kind of merged into one.
Okay.
And even still with that, I still don't think it's going to like really prepare you. Because I could say that like something similar with Jeff Buckley, and you wouldn't be prepared for what's on Grace. I think still.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, that's exciting because usually when you throw something at me, I've heard of it. It's a big deal. Haven't heard of this. I just went to their Spotify page, and none of their top songs are from this album, even. So.
No.
Yeah.
This is truly a based wreck from me.
Yeah, they're also a smaller band. So there you go. I mean, with 281,000 monthly listeners. So
yeah, at the time, I don't think so. with like members and influence, all that jazz. This ain't jazz though. This is something else.
Right. So
I'm looking forward to that. We got Fight Club and Remote Control. Interesting.
All right. Fight Club and Remote Control. And then I'll be getting into some stuff that I've really been wanting to wreck but didn't fit my gimmick.
I'll finish off the gimmick thing next time.
Okay.
After this one, and then
yeah, I love how concerned you were with sticking to your gimmick. That like you were compromising all these wrecks before, and then this week you're like, fucking dude.
Well, because
I'm excited.
At this point, I'm like, if I want to wreck something and I'm bummed about waiting, I'm just not gonna wait. I'm just not gonna bother.
Yeah, you should do it. Because I am waiting and I don't recommend it. So
yeah, exactly. And meanwhile, I would just sit here and be enjoying this album for another week.
I think for your sake, it's good that I stuck to my gimmick because you are seeing all these big things like Fight Club now.
So,
all right, let's blow out this candle.
All right, blow out the candle time.